We're gonna go over some basics really fast, and then we're gonna do maybe one little exercise and then get into painting this lovely boat. But your primary colors are the colors that cannot be mixed with other colors. Red, yellow, and blue. But you can make all of the other colors using these three. And especially these three golden ones, because they're very transparent. They let the light through, and it's really hard to make mud using these three. So a neutral is when you mix a color with its complement. Complement just means opposite. So the secondary colors are the ones in between. These are your primaries, but if you mix yellow and red, you get orange. Red and blue, you get purple. Yellow and blue, you get green, right? So the opposite of red is green. And because we're only using these three, means the opposite of red is meaning using the other two. So let's start by putting out some paint on our palette pad. I'm hoping you can see this. I don't do a huge amount. They go a long way. And I guess it depends, if I'm using a giant canvas. So first of all, let's mix a complete neutral, which is all three colors in equal proportion. So take a little bit and just have a blank piece of paper. This is going to be our little warm-up exercise. Take all three and mix them in equal proportions. Basically, you're trying to make what looks like black. And it gets pretty close, but once you add white to it, you'll see. It makes these fabulous grays. I'm obsessed with these paint. Golden Acrylics is a company that was created by artists. They weren't happy with the acrylic paints that were available, because it used to be that you could tell that oil paints were kind of more sophisticated, and you were able to make those muted, tans and grays and soft neutrals, and acrylic paints were overly bright, overly chromatic, overly energetic, and so it looked like, like when you walk into, I don't know, one of those jungle gym places for kids when everything is primary colors and it's just a lot of energy. Well, it's probably a lot of energy for other reasons. Okay, so mix all three. Basically try to make a black. Then just put it on your paper. We're gonna make this a little fun abstract. Any shape, just have fun with it, get some paint on there. Okay, so see how it's a little bit purple. So if you wanted it to be a little more neutral, a little closer to a perfect neutral, if it's too purple, you want to add its opposite, what's straight across the wheel, yellow. So I'll add a little more yellow, and watch, it'll just tone it. It'll take that purple right out of there. See how it made it kind of nice and neutral? Then, just because I want y'all to play with it, add some white. And look at these fabulous gray colors. Oh, I feel like this is what Benjamin Moore people must do, just sit around and mix colors. So I just want y'all to get painting. Do you know what I mean? Just play like a little kid. Nobody is ever going to see this if you don't want them to. This is just for you to explore your materials. And did we go over the basic materials? Water jar, clean up. I think we did. Okay, so then see how many different grays you can make with this neutral we mixed. So the range, I'll just keep playing, and every time you mix a different color, I want you to put a little on your paper. See how pale of a gray you can make. Go as far as you can. Take it way out. Add a lot of white. Oh, look at that. Look at that nice putty color. Don't paint anything recognizable. You can do whatever you want. That's what's so great about art. The rules are, there are no rules. But have fun with it. So keep mixing these. Okay, so what I was gonna say, the range of colors for this purpose is, there's a pure hue, which is straight out of the tube. Pure hue, yellow. So, and see how much, it's got all this energy and it pops out at you. So as you neutralize it, meaning mix it with its complement, which also means opposite. Let's put this back up here. So the opposite of yellow is purple. So that means the other two colors in the primary, right? Because purple's made from these two. So basically, I like to use all three of these colors in every color that I use, just in different proportions. So I added, let's make sure you can see this. So I had yellow, and I added a little bit of the red and the blue. And that makes it a little less intense. And then I can add a little more, makes it a little more neutral, a little more neutralized. But it's still, like, look at that fabulous mustard. So keep, and if it gets too red, then you add its opposite. You add green to keep toning it down. So eventually what I'm saying is if you keep neutralizing this, you're gonna get to that perfect neutral in the middle. And this really recedes when it's on a painting. And this really pops out at you. It has a lot of energy. So you wanna use restraint throughout your painting and have toned down, sort of, I mean, mature is the wrong word, but somewhere between like mature and sophisticated. You wanna use restraint and not have overly bright colors, because you know what I mean? Like when your kid's art comes home and it doesn't match your living room, it's because there's too much pure hue. They're brilliant, but those colors that are a little more toned down are the way colors occur in the world a little more naturally. And then when you do add a pure hue or closer to a pure hue, it really pops. So play around with making some colors using all three of these. And color mixing, guys, color mixing is something that it takes practice, but not as much practice as you might think. So now that we've kind of gotten a little warmed up, I'm gonna say some items that we all know, and I want you to mix as close as you can to that color, okay? So let's start with an easy one. Let's start with grass. So I'm gonna start with yellow. This phthalo blue is there's so much pigment in here. You just need a tiny, tiny, tiny dot. So get it, and now try it also, forgot to say this part. I want you to use at least some portion of all three of your primaries in every color that you mix. Even if it's just a tiny dot, include all three, because I don't know, a teacher taught me to do that, and I really love the way it turns out. So just for this exercise, obviously, you can do whatever you want, but I think you might enjoy this. So let's make some grass. And try not to get frustrated, because when you feel like you mess it up and you're not getting the color right, clean your brush, start over, because every time you mix it, I'm not going to do air quotes. I was recently told that those are not cool. But guess what? I'm not cool at all. Then I lost my train of thought. Choo-choo. Every time you mess up and you get it wrong, air quotes, you learn something. You really do. But you guys won't believe how many colors you can make. Okay, now let's make bubblegum pink. And it's gonna be a challenge to make bubblegum pink. You're gonna wanna just put white in your magenta. Let's not do that. I want you to make bubblegum pink with just a touch of the blue and the yellow. The blue, I mean, you're just gonna have to learn. The blue will overpower. So many times I've had to start over because that dang phthalo blue. But you know what I mean? So if a color is more neutralized, it's still gonna read as really bright. Look at that bubblegum pink. Remember that song? Bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. My kid learned that at camp. Okay, let me check, make sure. Everybody with me? Oh, hi, Cindy! So fun. Thank y'all for joining me. Oh, these are some, so I started teaching when we had the shutdown. And my daughter told me recently that shutdown years don't count, so I'm actually 2 years younger. But we started sort of a painting group on Instagram, and we had so much fun. So I've been missing getting out there and teaching. Okay, everybody do some grass. Everybody do some bubble gum. Let's see, what else do we all know the color of? How about UPS? No, craft paper brown. That's a hard one. It's actually not. You want to use all three and then add just a touch more of the yellow. It's got like a little orange in it and then some white. Can you all see my palette? I can prop it up if you can. This one is actually kind of hard for me. And it also might help if you don't have a clear picture in your mind of what craft paper tan looks like, just do a pair of khakis. And it's a fun exercise to get, like, find a magazine paper and try to match the colors on there. Because if you keep practicing this, using these three, I guarantee you cannot find a color that you can't eventually make out of these three colors. Which is so great, because then you can make like a little travel art set. And this is what I've been doing lately. Because when I go somewhere really cool and foreign, I like to find a restaurant, obviously not a super crowded one because you don't want to hack the waiter off, but find a restaurant that has lots of outside tables, like, you know, in a cute little village or whatever, and then get my paints out and then order some olives and some wine and just paint and like just be in the environment. And it's amazing how many random people will come up and start chatting with you about what you're doing. You let other people paint. But with this recipe, this is not a lot. And they have smaller tubes than this. So you can take all of these and a little pad of paper, and they actually make, I don't know where mine is. They make like a collapsible, I'm trying not to get on camera. They make a collapsible water jar. And I just keep it all in one little tote and take it with me when I'm traveling. In fact, I have a trip coming up and I am going to do an art class from the trip. How about that? That'll be fun. All right, everybody got their khaki down? I don't think I have mine totally. But it's a good, you see how it's a good exercise. And then you can start to see, like, what does it need? It has too much green or it has too much red. That's kind of close. But it's definitely a practice thing. So don't be hard on yourself. Get easy on yourself. But see how the restraint makes this really nice palette. And then, let me move that up just an inch. When you do add a bright color, what's something that's teal, like a really good deep teal? Okay, let me check. Make sure there's anybody have any questions? Are y'all actually painting or are people actually watching? I know Cindy's painting. What's a deep teal color? How about ocean blue? And every once in a while I like to clean my brush and start over. That's another thing I like about acrylics. They clean up with water. Okay, I'm going to make an ocean teal. Let's start with the blue. Blue. And at first, you're going to feel like that you wasted some paint. So start with little teeny blurbs, because you'll get better at mixing, I promise. All right, here's my ocean greeny blue. But see how much more brighter, like closer to a pure hue, how much more it pops being surrounded. So it's sort of like if you imagine like a beautiful, I don't know, Persian or whoever makes the beautiful rugs. They have a lot of neutrals and then they have some jewel tones that are just sprinkled in there. And I feel like that's why. Mixing your own colors. And you can buy colors already mixed. but it's a lot more expensive. Oh, look at that. See, I just kind of accidentally made that that very nice neutral. I'd like to paint a bookshelf this color. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Any questions? Oh, I love that color too. Okay, wait, what color should we mix next? How about something yellow that we all know what color it is? Oh, butterscotch candy. Everybody knows what that color looks like, right? Actually, I know what the wrapper looks like. But isn't it amazing how much you can do with these three colors? Oops, so I put too much blue, and look, made green. But you know what? I like that lime green, so I'm gonna go with it. A little white in there. So this warm-up exercise is for your energy around painting, because it seems like the biggest block with adult painters, or maybe about after 3rd grade, is I don't know what to paint, or I don't know how it's going to turn out. And it's the same for me, and I've been doing this for, I still don't know how long. Since I was, I don't know, probably 13 I've been painting. I mean, you know, painting regularly. And I'm 52. Actually, I'm 50 because I get my COVID years back. Just kidding. I need some more yellow. Wait, where was I? What was I talking about? Anybody know? Oh, the attachment to outcome. So if your mentality is just to play, if you think that nobody's going to see your painting, and you're like a kindergartner, and they're just giving you materials, and you're just messing and playing, the art, then you're going to be present, experiencing the process, and I guarantee you, you're going to like the outcome better. And that's hard. It's really hard not to be attached to outcome. Oh, yay. NCBCE. I hope you will paint next time. Okay. I don't know how to scroll these down. I think it'll just pop up. Okay. Let's do one last color. How about that, what's a good deep, let's just do a good deep navy. I can't think of anything, any particular navy we would all know, but like the one on Hellman's mayonnaise. See if we can hit that navy. So if it gets too purple, you add a little bit of the complement, which is its opposite, which would be yellow. And then you might want to add a little white. And sometime, next time we'll do like how many different pinks can you make, because you will not believe all the colors. In fact, let me show you. But I made all these colors just using those 3 paints. And there's a gazillion more that you can do. I love these paints. Okay, and now you have a piece. Sign your name. Go buy a frame for it. Slap it on the wall. You might love it. Email me questions, pictures, suggestions. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate y'all logging on. And if you liked it, subscribe. we're gonna make some more videos. Thanks for joining. Bye.